I'm Rachel from Cap and Cork, and as you can see, we're out and about today. We decided, since it's back to school time, we were going to kick off finishing school again. So in my past iterations of finishing school, I had my store managers sort of teaching and training and enlightening me on all things. But today, we're taking it on the road. We're stopping at Three Rivers. So Marla, tell us about your role here at Three Rivers.
I'm president of Three Rivers Distilling Company, and so I oversee all aspects of the business, from the production side of actually making the spirits to the restaurant side and the tasting room. Specifically, I focus mainly on some of our sales and marketing. Those are primary roles for me here.
Like the wizard behind the curtain, making sure everything's still getting done.
Yes.
That's all good. And I think that's the beauty of the distillery here, is it has so many aspects. So it started strictly as a distillery.
Correct.
Added the restaurant side,
yes.
But I think that engaged our community on a whole nother level. I even look at it from the education standpoint, which we'll touch on,
yes.
And the opportunities that lie there. So overseeing, was that ever in your wildest dreams of running a distillery of any sort?
No.
Was it on the radar?
In a way, it was on the radar a bit. My first passion was wine, so I was taking, when I had my day job in economic development, at night on my own, I was taking business courses for wine business management through Sonoma State University. So this opportunity came about, and it fits. Yeah, it's very, very similar to what I was studying.
Absolutely, and that's where I think, even when you think of that curiosity of being I consider myself a lifelong learner, and it could be a learner of anything for that realm. I'm still learning to drive a 5-speed. If you see me on the road, just turn the other way. But even from that realm of taking any sort of subject matter and just diving into it. So it's a perfect opportunity. So when you started to develop the team and sort of evolve things at Three Rivers, how are you approaching it from that team standpoint of evolving your product and where you go next? This industry is always shifting, I would say, is a way to put it.
Yeah, very accurate.
So how do you manage the shift?
Well, I mean, we keep a pulse on the industry trends to see where it's shifting, and is it truly a fast trend that's going to go away, or is this a long-standing trend?
It's going to be a flash in the pan, or is it going to be something that's going to stay around?
Right. So, I mean, that's a consideration. Also, when you mention team, I mean, we're big on culture and involving our team in all aspects of decision making. So, whether we decide to do ready-to-drink canned cocktails, or if we decide to focus on co-packing, or whatever the case may be, that is very much a team discussion, and even that drives our decision-making process.
Even looking at it as a team and an organization, be like, is this a direction we want to head?
Correct.
Is this something we're passionate about?
Right.
So when it comes down to your spirits, how does the team approach kind of factor into that?
So we sit down at the beginning of the year, like most businesses, and develop a strategy for the entire year. And the team, we decide, are we really going to focus on improving our existing products, or are we going to focus on creating new products this year? And we're a small business, so a lot of times all the things that we want to do cannot happen in one given year.
You have to have your parking lot,
so, that's
where you sort of put things, we'll get back to that.
Yes.
We'll throw it away, but we'll get back to it.
Right. And there, a lot of priorities are determined by where we think we are in the market, whether improvements still need to be made. And as a young distillery, I would say all young distilleries, improvements still need to be made if you're distilling your own product.
It's a continuously improving project.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So looking at the lineup here that we have, so we carry, Cap and Cork carries the main spirits. So the bourbon, the rye, the vodka, the gin.
Correct.
What other things can our customers come to the distillery and get then outside of those?
Sure. We have what we call our Artisan Series, and you can distinguish the two. Our spirits that are distributed are in this bottle, which is more of a slender bottle.
Okay.
And then our Artisan spirits, which are only sold here at the distillery, are in this shaped bottle here that has a beveled bottom to it. So that's kind of the difference between the two. But we're constantly working on new developments.
Yeah. Is that kind of what you use the Artisan Distillery for, or Artisan category for, I guess?
It's kind of our gray space to play is how we categorize that. So, it's an area where somebody has, an idea, and a lot of times it's our master distiller, Pat. He has this idea to make a 4-dog whiskey, which is a 4-grain whiskey, which is our only 4-grain whiskey that we have.
Very cool.
A lot of times we partner with other breweries in town. So the Mad Franklin is a rye whiskey that is aged in barrels that Mad Anthony had. So it's an ebb and flow of collaboration too. Absolutely.
And I think it all bolsters everything that we do in this community and the things that we're proud of too.
Right. And it keeps it fun here for us too. When you're making these products, it's great and we continuously improve on them, but these are our fun projects for us to do.
And who knows if you're going to stumble along that golden egg of, oh my gosh, this is amazing, and we need to really focus on this.
Yes.
And that's the beauty of being that small artisan distillery is like you're agile and nimble in the ways you can evolve.
Right. We do these in small batches, and then if we find something is wildly successful or popular, then we will bring it to market, kind of like our hint of jalapeno vodka that you now carry that was originally the Artisan Series.
So how has your bourbon, your third-time bourbon, evolved over the years?
It's gone through many iterations, so it's the third time it's been renamed. So that's the first most obvious one. But we had a very early, and I'll even call it premature, release 5 years ago on the bourbon, and so there
How
were some.
often do you go back and checkpoint and change the mash bill and or shift the profile?
Yeah, not too often do we change the mash bill or the profile. It's about improving the existing. We may tweak it a little bit. But the idea of this is to have a wheated bourbon. So it's 60% corn, 40% wheat.
So you've got that sort of anchor.
And we've changed how we're refining the distillation process. So that was something that we did a few years ago that we're now realizing, because it takes years to realize a shift that you've made in a bourbon. So we're now realizing those results, and we're really happy with that product. And obviously we're bigger barrels, longer aging process, all of that,
and that's
integrates into it.
A big shift too for you guys.
Right.
So that's cool.
Yeah,
very cool.
It's great.
So one thing, I have a group of friends and I that we love to come here and enjoy a cocktail. You've built a great culture, or what I would consider a cocktail culture, around the distillery and the restaurant side of things, and even the workshops. So we're kind of workshop junkies. It's fine. It's all good. I call it professional development.
Sure, it is.
You'll see that on a Make Sense report. Tell me a little bit about how you guys evolve the cocktails according to your customer palate, but then also that education side, what that means to you.
So education was always a big focus for us. We started on the distilling side. You were in the whiskey women business class, so we educated for an 8-month-long process on distilling a whiskey, barreling it, all, and bottling it. And so that was our first jump into the educational portion of things. And then we opened the restaurant and we realized that there's this other aspect where people are cocktail curious, and
very much.
They, especially during COVID, people were cocktailing at home.
We had to figure out how to do it ourselves.
Right. So what better way to give somebody a jump start and have fun and learn how to cocktail. And our philosophy with cocktailing is fresh, real ingredients. It can still be simple. You don't have you don't need a 20-minute process to create a cocktail.
Right.
You can create a cocktail in 5 minutes, and it's still this beautiful, fresh real ingredient cocktail, and that's what we like to bring to the workshop.
And even from the perspective of people that have participated, the hands-on part of it is, it's not, I'm not just sitting there watching a YouTube video of a how-to.
Right.
I'm not bashing YouTube.
Yeah, you get real experience.
You are directly exposing us to what it would be to be behind the bar a little bit.
Yeah.
A real life experience. So I love the fact that it's hands-on and you can really get in there and get dirty.
Yes.
It's fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
So what are we going to taste today?
So we have our third time bourbon, which we talked about, and you've tasted well over 3 times.
Yes.
So I wanted to give you our latest batch to see what you think.
And I will say, I love even the perspective of comparing this, like doing a flight with this in comparison to some of your artisan ones. You can look at what's kind of the base and get people to start tasting whiskey in some realm, and then what you can do with the other iterations.
Right.
You know, what you can do with just a different barrel finish or a little tweak here.
Yeah,
so
it's very interesting.
Very nice.
So you get like a fruit note.
It's very good.
Dark cherry.
It definitely makes me think of desserts. See, I think that's a gentle and a well-balanced whiskey and bourbon that makes it approachable to a lot of palates.
Yes.
I think that's something that I think I'm always trying to expose more audiences to it.
Right.
Even people that are hesitant.
Yes.
It
is a very good entry bourbon for somebody because there is no rye in this, so it doesn't have that.
It doesn't have that
burn,
that off-putting spice that sometimes hits differently on your taste buds.
Right.
So like having that wheat perspective, I think makes it softer.
Yes, it's very soft. That's a great descriptor.
And I'm even being a cocktail class attendee, I even look at it how this would hold up in a cocktail and how you can balance it well.
Yes.
So playing off some of those dried fruit notes and those even, I'm getting like the vanilla and the caramel a little bit, you know, playing in there. Slight subtle iterations can really amplify things. So perfect. Well, thank you, Marla.
You're welcome.
For sitting down with me today and helping me expand my education and encourage others to do the same. So what's the next classes you guys have coming up?
So the next class for Cocktail Workshop is a botanical bourbon class, and I hear that we are making a rose bourbon for this class. So that'll be very interesting, playing off some of these fruit and vanilla notes.
I love it. So you can sign up for their classes on their website. I'll include a link in our comment section or in the description. And we'll have to stay tuned for the next distillery only release that you can only get here, right? Downtown Fort Wayne. Cheers.
Cheers.
That's all this week from the Cap and Cork Studios. We'll keep you in good spirits, and you keep us in good company. We'll see you right back here next week.